Hi, it's Jean Brittingham with Captain Stitches, and tonight I am here to show you our week in review. What have we been doing all week at Captain Stitches? Well, we've been doing quite a bit and a lot of fun things. So come on, let me show you what we've been doing. First off, several of us, have been working on our friendship quilt along, and I happen to have my top finished. Just drop the binding on the floor, but won't be able to hold it up so you can see the whole thing, but we can hold it enough that you'll get an idea. Here we go. This is the quilt that we have been working on, which is a friendship star. That's why it was called Friendship Quilt Along. So several of the girls in our group have been working on this, posting pictures of their progress, and soon we will all be done and we will be able to have a show and tell of all the quilts, pretty quilts that came out from that. And we have the backing and batting, and on mine, since it was done and I couldn't decide how I wanted to quilt it, we went ahead and took a poll for a vote in the Facebook group, which they had the choice between Lilac for a pantograph, Blooming Stars, or Whisper. And the one that won out is Whisper. So that will be the pantograph that I will be quilting mine on the long arm then. One of the other things that we've been working on, some of us, the ones that want to share in, is our cloth stitching journals, which this is just the blank page, the blank portions that the pages will go on as they are finished. This is the part that it goes on. I have a couple that I've been working on that I can show. Excuse me as I reach for that, which I use my lap app. So the one is on there. We've been working on this one, and also have another page that have been working on. So that's some of the fun things. It's slow stitching, and that will all, as many pages as we want to put in our cloth stitching journal is what we'll do. Some of the gals are stitching along on other projects rather than, my light came on here, rather than the cloth stitching journal. So anything that they want to stitch, they've been able to join in on the fun and are stitching on something else. I know one did some pillowcases and has another thing in plan in the works. So that's what she is working on. One of the other things that we had this week was I like to share free patterns when I can that I find along the way. This is one that is counted cross stitch that is from Susan Bates. I'll bring that up so you can see that. It's a sewing machine, but what's really cute is the little holder here that they have designed and made out of, which everybody was excited about. So I have mine printed out. I have, oops, was just in the hoop to see what it was going to look like, but I have it just sitting in there to look like fabric that I'm going to put behind it, and have all my flosses chosen, ready to go. So that is another thing that we're working on in the group together. One of the funny things that we'll share with you is, in case you can't tell, the colors in my cottage match this bucket. So, and it is a snack attack bucket. And we all know as quilters and stitchers that you have to have your chocolate and your snacks while you're doing your work. So this is a humongous bucket, and I did manage to fill it all. So when you come and visit me here in the Quilt Cottage, we have snacks and we have a beverage bar. So that's another new thing added to the cottage. One of the last things that I have to share with you is, I'm calling this My Valentine, and I just completed the quilt top on it, and it is way too huge to be able to show you the entire thing on that, but you can get an idea of what it is. So that I just finished. It will get backing and batting and be ready to go on the long arm. This quilt was done entirely out of my scraps, which the borders on this, that's 396 2.5-inch squares that were used in those borders. The only thing that wasn't in my scraps, and I'll show you, I have a whole bookcase of book patterns over there. I was looking through them the one day and I thought, why is this book so thick? What's inside there? And I opened it up, and inside was the fabric that I had chosen for the fussy cut for the Valentines that are inside this. So it has been sitting on my shelf since 2005. Finally got to it, got the quilt put together. Hopefully it won't take that long to get it quilted and the binding on. And let me share with, okay, what my purchases were this week, which 3 things, 2 little things. I got a tracing wheel, so I will be able to use a technique that I learned on Brenda's, let me say this right. It's a Mount Scrapmore, but I'm not saying that exactly right. I'm sorry, Brenda. I'll put it in the description box and have it corrected. And then I use these little fingertip things. I have one on to show you. That's what I use on my finger when I'm doing my hand stitching. So it's easy to pull the needle through with. And I'm always needing those. So that was my purchase for the week. The other purchase for this week, let me scoot this back as far as I can. One of the problems that I have in my quilt cottage, I love organization and I hate clutter. And one of my problem areas is always the shelf that is on the back of my long arm. Anything that I don't have a place for at the moment, I seem to put on that shelf back there, and then it's in the way whenever I want to use the long arm. Or it just looks cluttered and I just can't work in a cluttered atmosphere. So I found this little, we'll try and hold it up, 3-tray rolling cart. And instead of having the stuff on there, projects that I'm just, it's for temporary use, things that are short term that I'm using or whatever, I can put in these, and then I don't have it all over the back of the long arm. I don't have to worry about when I'm using the long arm, I'm moving it to either my pressing surface or my cutting surface, and then when I want to use those, the stuff has to be moved again because it's in the way of there, and it's just a round and round problem. So this, I'm hoping, will solve that problem. So that was one of my other purchases in additions to the quilt cottage this week. I think that about covers everything. And of course, since I got a project done, I have an empty project container, which I'm sure I will find another one to go in there very soon. So that is the week in review. I hope you have enjoyed seeing what we have done this week, and we'll have more things to show you next week. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check the link in the description box for my Facebook group. You can click on that, ask to join. The name of the group is Friends of Captain Stitches, Quilting Stitching Bee. And as always, remember, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye.